Hello, good morning, guys. How are we doing today? Today I want to talk about the importance of understanding the process or processes to getting what you want. One of the biggest problems we have today is that people no longer wants to go through the process. They just want the results. So that's why you see somebody sees somebody who has been at their game for a long time post something, and then you want to have that thing without going through the process that they went through. And it has caused a lot of problem in our world today. There's a lot of pressure to perform at certain levels, even when you don't have the capacity or the training to do that. And there's also depression from wanting things that you have no ability to produce or sustain. And this is a big problem in our society today. It's part of why a lot of people are trying to take shortcuts, like the females are doing hookup, the males are doing rituals, and you're wondering why is this? It's because many people want to skip the process. Unfortunately, there's no time that you skip the process that you're not going to see it in the performance. Because remember that the time that you use in the process is a training ground. So all the things that you're learning, all the things like, for example, in my own journey, I talked about saving from very small amounts that I was earning at the time. And, who would imagine that I have worked as a painter before, myself and my friend, we were painting houses at some point. At some point we were working as carpenters. It's something you cannot imagine. At some point we were selling fufu. Yes, we used to call ourselves awesome fufu at that time. We've written code, we've done all sort of things. To I think at some point we were running a viewing center. So we've done trainings as well for corporates and individuals. So we've done quite a number of things that has built us up, as individuals, helped us to learn things, help us to know things about, how human beings think and many of those kind of things. Now, those are training processes. It helped us to learn a lot of things that we can well apply today and make progress in different ways. So many of the results that we ended up producing were not very surprising. They were expected given the process and processes that we've had to go through. And I remember mentioning when I was in Port Harcourt and I had to be walking long distances so that I could save something. That's part of one of the reasons why today I can walk for hours, sometimes days, without getting tired. It was part of the training process. When I was in school, I used to teach everything. Anything I learned, I teach people. I teach them for fun. Most of the time, people will come to me and say, "Why are you not charging for this thing?" And I say, "I learned them on my own, so I might as well teach other people." And interestingly, today I can take trainings and get paid for them. And that tells you that, and I've seen my teaching ability grow over time. When I started, I only could communicate with high level individuals, but now I've been able to break things down much better. I'm able to teach, almost every class of students, and I'm still learning you know. But that process set me up on the path to where I'm going, right? And that's something that we need to always remember. It's important because if you don't do that, you're going to struggle with, when you see other people achieve things and you begin to envy them. I remember Jim Rohn said something when they used to tell him that is an overnight success. And he used to say that the overnight took 30 years. And that is the importance of understanding the process of producing what you want. So some of you, you're just out of school, you want to drive a Benz, There's nothing bad in driving a Benz as a young person, but the question is, what is the process that you took to get to that point? Yes, if you cut corners, maybe you do rituals or you do fraud, you're going to be hurting yourself and the next generation. The way our country is today is obviously out of the actions of, all of us collectively, from our parents to our grandparents. All of us created this reality that we're living in now. And if we want to change that, we need to put the right systems in place, teach people the right things. Don't tell them that money will miraculously appear. Money does not miraculously appear. Money does not miraculously appear. Money is a function of value. If you provide value, you will generate income. It's just how it works. There's no two ways about it. There's no shortcut to it. No matter how you try to shorten the process, you're not going to succeed much because, so for example, you want to have a child in 1 month. It's not possible. You need to wait 9 months at the minimum, right? And these are the things that we need to constantly teach our children, teach our friends, our families, people who we have influence over. We need to teach them that there's a process to everything. When people understand that there's a process to things, they're going to calm down and learn what they need to learn to be able to understand the process and what it takes, right? Understandably, it's possible for you to do everything right and still fail, which is why luck and God's grace is important. But you have to do the basics, which is understand the process, understand what it takes. That's what I need to do in this process to get the results that I am seeking, right? This is very important because if you don't do that, you're going to expect results at a level that you have no ability to perform at, right? And this is something that we need to always remember. Everything you want wealth, there's a process to it. And what part in the process are you in now? Have you started to put in the building blocks, or you just want the building to appear from nowhere? These are the questions that we need to always ask ourselves. I always tell those that I mentor that whether you like it or not, whatever results you want to produce, there's a process to it. Success is an exact science, which means it is reproducible. You can reproduce it if you understand the process and the things that you need to do in the process. You will most likely produce that result. And this is something that we need to always keep in mind, because once we understand this, it's going to help us to, slow down, and do the things that we need to do. If it's learning, if you go taking a course, if it's, you need to understand that there are things you need to do to get to where you're going. It's not going to happen because you wish it to happen. It's going to happen because you put in the hours, you put in the work, you put in the necessary steps to get to that point, right? And then, of course, God blessing your efforts and making it produce, right? It's important to understand this because it is key to whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Whether you want to become an expert in your field, you need to put in the hours. You need to be mentored. You need to be taught. You need to learn. You need to go out and, draw in as much information as you need to, right? Some people say they want to become fashion moguls, but they know absolutely nothing about the fashion industry. They don't know who are the top guns in the industry. They don't know what they're doing, and they expect that one day they're just going to break through. I don't know what that even means. So it's important to understand the process and put in the time. I remember when I started doing crypto in 2016. At first, of course, I made quick money, so I didn't know that there were some other things that I needed to learn until my first big loss. And then I paused and went back to the drawing board, started learning things. And today, I'm one of the most influential voices in crypto in my country because I put in the hours, I put in the time to learn, and that started to show in my results and my actions. So thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day ahead.